Unit 23, Work Experience and Work Opportunities. So there are 3 main providers and 2 extra providers that we'll talk about. The 3 main providers are private, public and voluntary. Private providers, the aim of them is for profit mainly, so it's usually businesses owned or franchised to make profit, and they're usually more specific and tailored with high-paid individuals who are highly qualified individuals. Therefore, they provide quality and more reliable service. Usually it's a kind of members-only scenario where only members can receive the benefits of those providers. So this might be like the Virgin Active gym, or this might be individuals as well who kind of have their own private business or company. Overall, it's much more of a money-making business as opposed to attempting to put others first and benefit others. Public providers, so they aim to make sport more accessible for people. It's generally funded through money from tax, from obviously the council as well. So also through the lottery, a lot of the funding is through the lottery. Yeah, so like I said, it's owned by local authorities or councils, and a specific sector, the sports development team, that will aim to increase participation and make it more accessible for a range of different people. And obviously this is open to everyone, open to the public, and there is no membership or paid membership necessary. Some sessions might be paid for as a way to fund future sessions, but they will never be particularly expensive, and it won't be for profit, it will simply be to enable future sessions. The voluntary providers, so they aim to increase participation specifically, so they try and aim their sessions at a variety of ages and abilities. It's a huge provider in the UK, and they are non-profit, so they simply aim to raise money to increase participation in the future and raise money for other groups. And they are run by volunteers, so the people who work there usually, some do, but usually they don't get paid. It's simply a voluntary thing because they want to increase participation themselves. The money they receive is usually from subscriptions or lottery grants, or fundraising specifically from that voluntary provider. And usually the facilities that they use, they will be rented facilities from the council, or they might have private grounds that they rent. So the other 2 providers that you could talk about, which aren't as necessarily outlining or important, but they are still obviously very much present in society, are dual-use providers and partnerships. So dual use is kind of when facilities are used for multiple reasons, such as schools after 6 p.m. being available for public use. This means the facility is obviously being used in the daytime for education, the actual school itself. And then after that 6 p.m, a company or the school itself perhaps might run sessions for sport after that time for public use. And it offers good community links as well, of course. There's also partnerships, so that's when 2 sectors work together to fund and organise a centre. So So you might have sponsorship. So like in Brighton, for example, you might have local council working with Albion in the community to create an event or to organise an event in a particular centre. Those two sectors working together to fund and organise an event. The issue with that sometimes can be that multiple parties are wishing to have control of it. There might be conflict between the two parties, but that is of course not always the case. Moving on to the sectors within sport now and the work opportunities. So there is sport and recreation, there is sport and exercise science, there is health and fitness, and there is outdoor education. Now all of those obviously have hundreds of jobs within each category, so all of them build up to the whole thousands of jobs in the sporting industry. Sport and recreation is a sector which focuses on grassroots or elite performance, helping to enhance and develop the specific sport or the participants in it. So examples include PE teachers, coaches, duty managers, and sports performers. The sport and exercise science sector is a sector which focuses on analysis of the body and performance. So this might be through study of nutrition, technique, or injuries. Examples of jobs within this sector include exercise physiologists, biomechanists, sports psychologists, and dietitians. The health and fitness sector focuses on improving the health or fitness of individuals or teams, dependent on where you're situated. So jobs within this include personal trainers, sports therapists, physiotherapists, and sports masseurs. The final sector is outdoor education. This includes work specifically outdoors for enjoyment or for team building exercises or conditioning, such as military fitness. Jobs in this sector include mappers, ground facility workers, and specialist instructors. So they might specialise in kayaking or canoeing, perhaps. So if I look at each sector and a specific job within each sector, I can kind of get an idea for what sector I, as an individual, want to work in, and perhaps what job I feel I would like some experience in, or what job I feel is right for me. So I'll look at a football coach in the sport and recreation sector, a sports psychologist in the sport and exercise science sector, a sports therapist in the health and fitness sector, and an outdoor activities instructor in the outdoor education sector. So if we start with the football coach. The job description for a football coach includes being responsible for planning and delivering 30-minute sessions to an hour-long sessions, and they must be appropriate to the age or ability of participants. So obviously, younger participants will need a session tailored to their lower capabilities and lower abilities, whereas adults or perhaps professionals would need it to be tailored to their ability, their higher ability, and their higher experience level. Next is providing a range of football skills and fun games for 5 to 10-year-olds, so that narrows it down to the age group specific, so therefore you would be tailoring the planning and delivering to that age group specifically, so that you know they're going to be less physically capable and less experienced, so you need to tailor the planning and delivering to that. Next, you'll be responsible for coaching and looking after a group of up to 20 children, so you know you'll be working in large groups and in charge of a large group of children, so you need to be aware and alert at all times to ensure that none of the children are at harm or at risk. You also need to maintain professional relationships with children, parents and carers. So obviously you need a good relationship with the children in order for them to respect you and listen to you and your coaching points. But you also need a good relationship with the parents and carers, giving them feedback on your children and how they're progressing, to ensure that they trust you with their children and they know that you are providing the services that you are telling them you are, that you are helping them progress and develop as an individual. So next is child welfare, so supervising children at all times to ensure safe use of equipment. So obviously you're going to be using a variety of equipment. Being a football coach, a lot of footballs, which could easily be kicked at one another, causing injury, cones that could trip over. So you need to be supervising children at all times to ensure that they don't get injured or hurt. You also need to be able to work collaboratively with other coaches, so work well with others and be able to receive feedback from other coaches and instructions from other coaches to ensure that you can develop as a coach as well. You need to be available to work between 8:15am and 12:45pm Monday to Friday, so there aren't specific slots for this job. It's dependent on when they need you and when the sessions are arranged. Therefore, you need to kind of be able to work around that and be free within those times, no matter what. You'll need to attend training courses as required, so coaching obviously requires a lot of training. Therefore, you need to attend any relevant courses to further your knowledge and make sure that you're giving the best coaching you can. The pay is £9.50 an hour, and the location of this is in Worthing. The person description then, so you must have a passion for working with young people, enjoy it, and feel that you're in a positive environment when you're working with young people. You must have appropriate experience delivering football coaching, so you must have experience of coaching prior to this job, not just the training course that is for this. You must be flexible time-wise, so like I said, that 8:15 to 12:15 availability. You must have good leadership skills in order to keep the focus of the children and be assertive with them. You must have a confident personality for the same reasons. You must possess a level 1 football qualification, so that's minimally, so more would be preferable, but that is a good starting point. Good social skills with young people and adults, so like I've said before, you need a good relationship with both in order for the child to progress and develop in a positive environment. You need at least 3 months experience working with 5 to 17-year-olds. You need a full understanding of the rules and tactics of football. Obviously that's necessary for you to be able to teach someone else. You have to have a full understanding yourself. You must act as a role model for the participants. That kind of comes with leadership and confident personality. And you must be self-driven and motivated, because if you're not motivated yourself, how are you supposed to motivate others?